What is up, Shark Army? It's your boy Sharky and welcome back to another video. Today's video is a little bit different. It is not a gameplay, we are not playing Stardew Valley. Instead, we are jumping into a tier list which I have created myself, and I am going to place every single Stardew Valley NPC into this tier list. The characters who I love the most in the game to the characters who I don't like as much. This will give you guys a good idea of the characters that I like to play around with the most and speak to, the ones I tend to spend most time with in Stardew Valley, and then you're going to find out also the ones that I hate in the game or more so dislike. But yeah, like I said, this is from my perspective, my opinion. This is how I feel about these characters. Feel free to use this tier list. I'll put a link down below in the description, and then I'd love to see your guys' versions of this tier list as well. But yeah, as you can see, we've got every single character in the game. I think this is the 45 or something like that. Obviously, there's bachelors, bachelorettes, the ones you can marry, all of the NPCs that live around town, all the ones you can actually give gifts to and build up relationships and friendship. But there's also some characters in here who you can only speak to and you can't send them gifts or build up any friendship, but they are still a part of the game. So yeah, let's have a look at the tiers, what we've got first. So at the top of this tier is Goat, the greatest of all time. These are my favourite Stardew Valley NPCs. I don't think there's a lot in here, but you'll be surprised who actually goes in that spot. And then moving down the list, we have got Love. So these are the characters I actually do love. They aren't my greatest, but they are still amazing characters and my personal favourites. And then in the middle, straight out flat, we have got Alright. So these NPCs, they're alright, you know, they're not the best and they're not the worst. There's probably going to be quite a lot in there. And then we move down to the lower end of the list, the ones that the NPCs don't really want to be in. I bet they are dreading me dragging those in there. But we've got a dislike, so these are the NPCs that, you know, I don't hate, but I don't like talking to. I find them a little bit boring, and I just don't seem to spend a lot of time with them. And then lastly, we have Hate. The NPCs that I just can't stand and I don't want to talk to them. No hard feelings, you know, but we all have our preferences, right? Yeah, let's just get straight into this. If you guys like the concept of this video, please give it a thumbs up. I know it's a little bit different, a little out there, but I've been wanting to do this for a while. I actually saw this idea on Twitch. Somebody did this, but I like the concept of it and I thought, you know, that'll be quite a good idea. So let's get straight into this. Starting at the front of the list here is Abigail. Now, she is one of the bachelorettes you can marry in the game, and she is one of my favourite bachelorettes that you can marry in the game. She loves gaming. She's a very typical e-girl, as you can call it, maybe. Yeah, I see a lot of similarities in her. She's very weird and out there. She's unique. She's different. And you know what? I actually quite love Abigail. I always have done. She's one that I always tend to enjoy speaking to the most. I feel like she doesn't deserve to be an alright. I feel like she's going to go into love for me. And then we'll go on to the next one here. This is Alex. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Alex, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I just find him a little bit boring. He's very, you know, your typical lad. He loves his sports. All he talks about is himself. And yeah, I never really enjoyed doing anything with him. So I'm going to put him in dislike, just because I do actually dislike him. A lot of you guys are going to hate this, and you're going to be like, why? But, you know, like I said, this is just from my preference. This is from me playing the game and my interactions with these NPCs. Everyone's different, right? And also, as well, I've never really done the full hearts with all of these people, so there's probably a lot of dialogue and story that I've never discovered. So they could probably be, you know, better than what I'm grading them here. But as we move on, we've got quite a lot to get through. We have got Demetrius. Now, he is a scientist, a very geeky nerd. He loves his nature. You know, he's quite smart and clever. Obviously, he's married to Robin, and then you have Sebastian and Meru. Demetrius, to me, is all right. I don't mind Demetrius. You know, I talk to him. I find him a little bit interesting. He doesn't bore me too much. And yeah, I'm going to slap him right in the middle for me because he's all right. Oh, now this one's going to be controversial. We've got Shane. Now, where do I put Shane? I know a lot of people love this guy. He's very popular. He's probably one of the most popular NPCs in Stardew Valley. Now, to me, he's not going up the top two. He's not the GOAT, and I do not love him. Obviously, everyone's different, but to me, I kind of think he's in alright as well. I don't dislike him. At the start, he's a little bit rude. It takes a while to open him up and get some conversation out of him, which is always quite hard when you start a new game. You have to really graft and build up your friendship with him. But as you do, it starts to unfold and you start to feel a little bit sorry for him, and that's why a lot of people I feel like love him, probably because they can relate or whatever. But I'm going to go with alright. Shane's alright. It's not too bad. I once disliked him, but he's kind of gone up in my my books. Now we're going on to another one, Caroline. and Pierre. We've got a family here. So Caroline, I'm not going to lie, guys. I don't like her. I actually really don't like her. I feel like there's something going on with Caroline, you know, Abigail and the wizard. There is a lot of undiscovered secrets lying there, and I feel like Caroline is hiding and keeping a lot of them secrets from people. For some reason, I don't believe that Pierre is Abigail's father. I feel like she had a thing with the wizard, and for that, that's kind of bad, you know. So I actually do dislike Caroline. I'm not a massive fan of her. I just don't like the whole situation with the wizard. I feel like it's a little bit strange. So I am going to put Caroline there. But Pierre, on the other hand, I actually don't mind Pierre. He's one of my favourites in the game. When you unlock his dialogue and you finish the community centre and you get rid of Jody, his character's really cool, you know. He comes out of his shell, he grows a pair, he gets very confident, he sticks up for himself. And yeah, he's the one we buy seeds from. So I do love Pierre. He's one of my favourites. And I feel sorry for him as well, you know. So look at that. I love Abigail and Pierre, the so-called father and daughter. But Caroline's down there for me. There's no one in the goat yet, or no one in the hate. Let's see who's going to be the first to go in there. So we move on. The Dwarf. Yeah, he's one of the characters that you can buy a few things from. You can't really do much interaction with him. It's someone I've never really spent a lot of time with. So for me, he's going smack bang in the middle. I feel like the Dwarf's alright. He's not a bad character, and he's not the best in my opinion. Alright, we've got Clint. You know, I'm not a massive fan of Clint. I don't know why. I find him a little bit boring. He's very edgy. He's very shy and timid. He keeps himself to himself. Yeah, apart from him upgrading my tools, I don't really spend a lot of time with him. But do I dislike him? Or would he be alright? Yeah, I don't really dislike him. He's not got enough about him to dislike. So I'm going to put him in alright. Another one in there. Not quite sure what to do with him. And if I'm not sure what to do with them, I'm just going to put him in the middle. Okay, so we've got Emily. Another NPC that you can marry. One of the bachelorettes. One that I've never personally married myself. I've never delved deep into her life. A lot of people seem to think that she is another daughter of the wizards, because the wizard back in his day, in his youth, apparently was up to no good with all the women. So, you know, Abigail and Emily could so be his daughter. But Emily, she's another one that's alright. I actually don't mind Emily. She's a very unique character. She's very different, you know, with the blue hair. But there's not enough for me to love her. So for that reason, I'm going to put her in there. She has some cool heart events and dialogue, and she seems very nice, but I'm just going to keep her there. Controversial, she's next to Clint, who super fancies Emily. Right, okay, so we are going into George. I love George, guys. He is one of my favourites, and for me, he's going in GOAT. He's a very grumpy old man when you first start off the game, you know. He doesn't like anybody, doesn't like talking to anybody. But I just love his character. He's so unique. He's so different. I love how grumpy he is. He's a grumpy little old man. But when you start to become friends with him, you start to feel sorry for him. You know, you learn about why he's in a wheelchair and things like that. And he's just such a nice man. And he is one of my favourites. I always tend to speak to George and give him gifts. He's definitely someone I really do like in the game. He's your typical grumpy old man, you know, but you got to give him some time. Deep down, he's got a nice heart and he's very soft, I think. So for that reason, he is going in there. And then we've got Evelyn as well. I love Evelyn. Granny Evelyn is amazing. She's so nice. Should I put her up there with them two together, or do I love her? Oh, it's tough. She is super nice. She's just so kind and sweet. I'm going to put her in love. I tend to feel more sorry for George, and I still feel like he's my favourite, but I do love Evelyn as well. It's very tight. She's like on the line here. But yeah, not the greatest of all time for me. Oh, here we go. We've got one person here though next. Elliot. Guys, I hate him. I hate Elliot so much. It's just, like, who likes him? Like, who likes him? He's very posh. He's a very posh boy, you know. It's all about him. He lives the lifestyle of lobster and caviar. He's a very fancy boy, wants to be a writer. Very boring to me, not my kind of lifestyle. And yeah, I never speak to him. Apart from the first introduction at the start, that's it. Elliot's gone for me. He's this posh boy who lives in a cabin, you know, it's weird. But yeah, look at him with his long hair. I'm not a fan. I'm sorry for you Elliot fans out there, but I just don't like him. I hate him. Just not for me. Okay, next character. We've got Grandpa. Of course he's the GOAT. We're living on his farm. We're taking over it. We're doing it for Grandpa. We've got his shrine, and we're trying to make him proud. Sadly, you know, he's passed away. We've got his ghost spirit here. He's got to be the GOAT. He's got to be up there. It's the whole reason we are in Pelican Town playing Stardew Valley is because of him. So yeah, he deserves to be up there in my opinion. next on the list, Gus. Gus is alright. Straight away, I just wanted to put him in alright. Because, yeah, he's not too bad. Just one of those characters that, you know, you don't hate, you don't really love too much. You buy recipes from him. He owns the bar. Yeah, it's just, that's it really. He's alright, I can't really say much more about him. So that's a nice quick one for me. But moving on is another character here, Hayley. Now, I used to hate Hayley, like really bad. She was very obnoxious and snobby and very bitchy. You know, she used to talk down to you, treat you like trash. She'd just walk all over you. You know, it's all about her. Oh, my hair, my nails. I don't want to get wet. I don't want to get dirty. I love perfume. I love fashion. You know, she's typical, you know, drama queen. And yeah, I used to hate her. Obviously, in my 1.5 playthrough, I am going to marry Hayley. So she's going up at my estimates a little bit. When you get to know her a bit more, she becomes a little bit nicer and more tolerant. But I still dislike her. I'm not a huge fan of Hayley. I don't hate her anymore. I feel like she's disliked for me. Another one that I just don't seem to talk to a lot. I find very rude. And yeah, I just don't have fun spending time with her. So to me, she deserves to be in dislike. Until I marry her, and then I'll change my mind. But for now, as it stands, from my first experience playing Stardew Valley, yeah, dislike for me. Gunther, a character you can't give gifts to, get any friendship up with. But you know, he's alright. Gunther's alright. He owns the museum. You have to do some quests with him. He's kind of cool. I love doing all the museum, donating all the artifacts and things like that. I really, really wished sometime in an update, or I just wished that it was a thing in the actual game from the start, but I really wanted Gunther to be a character in the game, like a proper character, one that would walk around. He'd have his own, you know, heart events, and you can get friendship up with him, get recipes from him. You know, you see him walking around doing his thing. He's a part of the community, not just sitting behind that desk all the time. I really wish that Gunther could have been a true Stardew Valley NPC and a villager, because I just feel like he's such a cool character, you know. And it would have been so cool to see him doing his thing. So it's very sad that he just basically sits behind the counter all day. But it's still alright in my opinion. Okay, another one here. Harvey. Harvey. I dislike him, guys. I dislike him. He is very boring to me. He's super boring. Every time I talk to him, I yawn. I just want to move away from him. You know, I don't hate him. He doesn't do anything to make me want to hate him, but I just find him so boring. The local doctor, that doesn't even open for that long, you know, he shuts so soon. Yeah, it's not for me. He's a very boring NPC to me, and I just don't find him interesting at all. I've done a few heart events and stuff with him, and I just never really seem to enjoy those either. Obviously, he is a bachelor that you can marry in the game. I know he's probably quite popular with a lot of you guys. He looks after all the NPCs, you know, and the villagers. He gives them a checkup, but I just feel like you don't see him much, and when you do, it's like I said, it's very boring. He does have a pretty cool heart event though, with the hot air balloon. If you want to try and marry him, which is pretty cool. That's a very unique one for me. It's interesting. And I feel like he's a little bit of a hypocrite as well as a doctor, because if you didn't know, Harvey, obviously, he tells people to eat well and look after themselves. But if you didn't know, in his house, he has a microwave oven, and his fridge is filled with like ready meals and convenience food. And it says that his microwave is very well used. So he doesn't really look after himself too much. So he's a liar. Right, the next character, Crowbars. Oh yeah, I love Crowbars, guys. In fact, he's one of my greatest. Yeah, he's another one who goes up there for me. As it stands, it is basically George and Crowbars right now, but I've had to put the grandpa in there. But Crowbars is amazing. I love this character. He's so unique, he's so different, he's so quirky, he's so cute as well. I love talking to him, I love doing all of his heart events. You can actually have him as a roommate, come and live with you on the farm, which is so cool. Yeah, Crowbars is just the best, man. He's one of my favourites, and he deserves to be up there. Next is the henchman. I mean, you don't really speak to him that much, don't really do much with him. Not a massive huge fan. Obviously, this is all to do with the witch's hut. He's the one who guards it, and you have to give him, is it void mayonnaise, in order for him to let you through. And that's basically literally all he does. And he's a creepy, weird one, but yeah, I dislike him. Not a massive fan. He's going down there for me. Next on the list is the governor, is it? The one who comes and tries the soup. Yeah, another character, not a massive fan of. Doesn't really do much. You can't really interact with him. I'm just going to put him in alright, because that is a cool festival. Quite like that one. But for me, I think it just deserves to be in the spot in the middle. Right, next, we've got Leah. I love Leah. Leah is very nice. She's another one of my favourite dateable NPCs in the game. She was the first NPC that I married in my, first ever time playing Stardew Valley. She's the one I went for straight away. I love her lifestyle. She's into crafting and art, and she lives in a nice little cozy cottage or cabin. She loves nature, she's one with nature, and she's just very nice. She's very cute as well. I've always liked Leah. She is definitely one of my favourites, so she deserves to be in the love spot for me. Next, we have got the Mayor Lewis. I dislike him, guys. I do. I'm not a massive fan of the Mayor. He's a dirty dog. Obviously, he's a little bit of a corrupt guy. Not sure what he's up to, but he's definitely not a good mayor in my eyes. Not a huge fan of him. I dislike him. I dislike what he does. Obviously, he's got his thing with Marnie, and he seems to be a little bit of a play with all the women. That's how he seems to get on their good terms, and that's how he makes it as a mayor, Why has he been mayor for so long? Probably because he's sleeping with them all. Yeah, his whole thing with Marnie is very strange to me. I don't know why he tries to keep it a secret. Like, why not just tell everyone, even though everyone already knows? I don't know what he's hiding, so I do dislike him, and he's going down there. To follow the footsteps of the mayor is Marnie, and guys, I hate her. I hate her. Do you know why I hate her the most? Because she's never bloody open. Her shop is always shut at the most convenient times, and I really need to go to the animal shop. Guess what? She's closed, or she's missing. She's never there. And she's very strange with the mayor. She's always around his house. She's never in a shop. Never seems to be open. I just find her frustrating because it always seems to be that when I need her or need the animal shop, she's not there. And it's so frustrating all the time. Yeah, she's very dodgy, very strange. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but that's the reason why she's going there for me, because she's given me so much frustration in that game. It's ridiculous. Now we've got Kent. Kent is all right. He's a good guy. He comes to the game in year 2. He is obviously serving his country. He's in the military, and he comes back home in year 2 to join his family. Jody, Vincent, and Sam. He's a cool guy. He's got a lot of problems. He obviously comes back and he speaks about his problems and troubles in the military. I think he obviously suffers with PTSD, I'm pretty sure. And he opens up to you and stuff, and he tells you how hard it's been, and I think he lost a friend over there. So yeah, he has it quite tough. I feel sorry for him. I respect him, and he's an alright character. Pretty cool that he comes in year 2 as well, because it's kind of a shock when you first play, and he turns up and you're like, whoa, okay, got a new character. He's not too bad. I like him, but I don't love him, so yeah, he goes there. But someone I do love though, yeah, you guys know, Jody, my favourite woman of all. She is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. She deserves a tier on her own. She deserves to be up here. She is a beautiful, adorable mum. She's just the best. She's a nice mum. She looks after her kids. She works hard. She's so cute. She's so sweet. I just love Jody. I always have done. If you guys watch the videos from a long time, you'll know that I've got a little thing for Jody, and she's definitely at the top of my list. Next on the list is Marlon. He obviously runs the Adventure Guild, gets you doing lots of Monster Slay challenges, a very cool character. Do I love him? No, I probably don't, but he's definitely an alright character. Is one that I don't mind in the game. It's pretty cool. And another one is Gil or Jill. Obviously, he's the guy that gives you the rewards. You can't really talk to him. He's just sleeping in his chair all the time. You can't really have anything to say about him other than, he doesn't have much dialogue. Very boring, really. But I don't dislike him. He doesn't really do anything for me to dislike him. So he's another alright character for me. Obviously, there's going to be a lot in there because all the characters are alright, really. Some I just prefer a little bit more than others. So yeah, both of the Adventure Guild people, for me, deserve to be an alright, and that's where they're staying. Meru, how do you do? I don't mind Meru. She's another character that I quite like. She's a good person to marry in the game. She's very nerdy. She loves her space. She's very cute, adorable. Not really anything bad to say about her, so she is also going in alright for me. I don't love her, but I don't dislike her either, so yeah, Meru's alright. Obviously the daughter of Demetrius and Robin. Ooh, you know what we'll do right now as well? Robin the Carpenter. Where can I put you? I don't dislike you. I'm probably going to put you in alright as well. Yeah, Robin's fine. Also, go back to Meru. Why does her portrait have glasses on, but in the game and her sprite, she doesn't? Like, why? What's all that about? So the whole family, Robin, Meru, and Demetrius for me are all right. You know what? We've got Sebastian as well. Should we put him in there? Now, a lot of people love Sebastian. Obviously, he's a morbid character in my opinion, a very emo style. So a lot of people would go towards that, e-boy kind of thing. And he's a cool character. For me, he's a little boring at the start. I don't dislike him, I don't think, though. I'm also going to put him into alright for me. I know a lot of you guys will probably have him up into the top ones, but for me, he's just an alright character. But next on the list, we've got Morris, the Jody guy. You know where he's going, guys. In the bin. I hate him. I hate Morris. He deserves to be down there. In fact, he deserves to be lower than that. Stuff Joja. They're the worst. Pierre's the man. If you guys like Joja and you like Morris, you ain't no friends of mine. Never take the Joja route. Yeah, I feel sorry for Pierre. He's not a very nice man. He's trying to steal all the customers. He's very rude and aggressive and he thinks he's the best. Yeah, I just don't like him at all. So he's going right down there. But a character that's going to the top, complete opposite to Morris, Linus. Oh, I love Linus. Another one of my favourite characters in the game. He is the GOAT. I just love him. I feel so sorry for him, especially at the start. You know, you see him that he's in a tent, he's homeless, he's going through all the rubbish and searching for food and hot meals, and you just feel so sorry for him. But as you go and dive into his story and his dialogues, you find out that, you know, that's his life that he wants to live. He's happy. He loves being, you know, in the nature. He loves living outdoors. That's his lifestyle that he chose. And it's just such a nice person to talk to when you become friends with him. I just love his way of living and thinking. He's not about this modern luxury life, you know. He's just happy with some grapes and a nice campfire by the lake. You know, there's nothing better, in my opinion. And yeah, I love Linus. Definitely one of the best. Next on the list is Penny. Penny's nice. I do love Penny. She's just a very cute girl. You feel sorry for her with Pam. She gets it quite hard. But I don't know whether to put her in love or not. Because I like Abigail and Leah more than Penny. So I don't think she can go there. So yeah, for me, she's alright. Penny's nice. Penny's a good character. Okay, so the list is looking quite strange right now. It's quite spread out, quite even. There seems to be more in alright and dislike, which is crazy. I'm not sure what you guys think of this so far, but we're moving on to Pam. I love Pam. She's another one that should be in GOAT for me. She's a GOAT character. Yeah, you know what? She's going for this. She's going there. I love Pam. Now, when you first start the game, she's very rude. She's an alcoholic. She drinks, but she's just a GOAT. She is. She's so popular. She's such a character, right? She's very grumpy and mean, but she's so funny. Her character, you know, it just suits her so well. And Stardew Valley without Pam, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. I love her, but she's definitely one of the GOATs in the game, in my opinion. One person I'm going to put in love, though, I'm going to steal from this list, is Willy. I love Willy. Willy is another one of my favourite characters. The fisherman. Love his story, love his dialogue, love his heart events. I love the fact that he gives you access to his back room and lets you use his boat and takes you to a brand new island, Ginger Island. You know, if it wasn't for Willy, we wouldn't get all of that, and he's just such a cool character. I love Willy. There's something about a fisherman. You know, I just love fisherman. Another character that suits him so well. Another funny character as well. You know, the cutscene with all of the crabs. It's so cool. So yeah, he's going there for me. Next on the list is Sam. I don't mind Sam. I prefer him more to Alex, although he's still not my favourite, you know. I've never really been a massive fan of him, as well as Sam. Sam and Alex have been two that I've just never really liked that much. Obviously, Sam has this ambition of being, you know, the pop star, the best musician ever, which, you know, I love music, I don't mind it. His character's pretty cool as well. His portrait, his hairstyle obviously looks a little bit like something off of Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, so for me, he's going alright, because I do prefer him more to Alex. Even though I'm not a massive fan of both, but he's alright. He's going there for me. Next on the list, the bouncer. I mean, yeah, what can you really do with him? He's going in alright for me. Don't really speak to him, doesn't really have any dialogue. He's just a character in the game that's just blocking a doorway, just very similar to this dwarf henchman character here. Whereas I like the bouncer a little bit more because, yeah, he's not a dwarf and a weird, horrible looking creature. But he's going in alright for me. But then I've got Mr. Q or Mr. QI, and I love this character. He is so good in the game. I love all the quests you can do with him in Pelican Town, and it continues obviously over on Ginger Island, and you actually get to see more of the character and dive deeper into him. Yeah, it's just very cool, mysterious. You know, he gets you doing a lot in the game. He's definitely a mysterious stranger. Obviously, he owns the casino. And then you get the Walnut Room in Ginger Island. He's everywhere. He's always got a challenge for you, and it keeps you doing a lot in the game, and it's just so cool. I find him so interesting. Probably could say he's the GOAT, because he obviously makes the game. But for me, I just love him. I just love his character. So yeah, he's going there for me. Sandy, however, obviously she owns the Oasis. She can buy some seeds from her. For me, she's going in all right. I don't mind Sandy. Another character that's quite quirky. And you can't obviously start talking to her until you get to the desert. So it's quite interesting and refreshing to have this character in the game, a little bit like Kent, and you can build up a friendship with her and get hearts and stuff and give her gifts. And yeah, I think she's quite a cool character. Very different to the rest. 2 more on the list, the kids, Jazz and Vincent. For me, going straight in alright, don't mind them. It's nice to actually see kids in Pelican Town, you know. They are the only 2 with the new one, Leo, that we'll get to in a second. But yeah, Penny looks after them. Penny's cute, does a job well. And the kids, they're alright, you know, they're not bad. It's nice to actually see the kids in the game and you get complete different dialogue and events with them. Vincent's very funny. I love Vincent a lot more than Jazz. I find him very adorable. But yeah, you can't go wrong with them. Got to keep them there. But next on the list is the Wizard. I love the Wizard, guys. Another one. The reason why I love the Wizard, I think it's so unique, and another one like Mr. QI is mysterious. Obviously, he used to be a player with the women. He makes this whole strange situation in the town. He gets people asking so many questions. The whole situation with the witch. It's just, yeah, it's just a cool character, and I do like the Wizard. So for me, he's up there with Mr. QI. A character that I do love in the game. And you know what? Another one. The new character, Leo. I love this character as well. He's going straight into love. 1.5 update. The best update out of them all. Completely adds this new character in the game. And I just love Leo. Obviously, first of all, he's over on Ginger Island. He thinks he's a parrot. He's the parrot boy. You find him a little bit strange, but then you uncover his story. You start to feel sorry for him. And then eventually, he actually moves to Pelican Town. He becomes a real NPC, a villager. He comes and lives with Linus. Them 2 become good friends, and they're very similar. You know, I think Leo is like a younger version of Linus. They are happy with their life. They respect it. They respect each other. They love the outdoors. And yeah, I think he's a cool character to the game, and definitely welcomed, in my opinion. And then we are on to the last 2. These are 2 characters that came to Ginger Island for the 1.5 update. We got Birdie. You do a quest with her on Ginger Island about the pirate's wife and the pirate's locket. She gives you a little bit of a story, and it basically starts you off on Ginger Island. It's where the fun begins, you know. It's where the quests start. She doesn't appear on rainy days. There's a lot of questions resolving around that. Obviously, she lost her husband. I think he got stranded somewhere out into the sea, and you're trying to find out what happened with that. You're trying to find the locket, something that she could have to remember him by. There's a lot of questions to be asked around this as well, because there is the guy over on the beach in Pelican Town who only appears on rainy days, where you can get a mermaid pendant from him, which you can give obviously to marry a character. He only appears on rainy days. Doesn't say where he's come from, what he does, but then obviously Birdie here lost her husband in the rain. Could that be him? Do you know what I mean? It's strange, but yeah, there's a lot of things to ask about that. I don't mind the character. For me, she's going in alright. Quite enjoyed doing her quest, quite fun. And it's same with this guy as well. Professor Snail, is it? Love doing his quest. Love Ginger Island. It's one of my favourite places to go. The best update ever. And yeah, I also think he's a character for me that's going in alright. I quite like those 2 characters. They're a great addition to the game. And Leo obviously is the best, just because you can do more with him, you know. You can give him gifts, get a friendship up with him. He moves over to the, obviously, Pelican Town. But I think that's it. I think I'm happy with that. Just double check. The goats, the greatest of all time. Obviously, Grandpa's there. He has to be. But we've got Jody, my favourite woman. Linus, I love Linus. We've got George. George is the best. Crowbars and Pam. For me, I'm happy with that. They definitely deserve to be up there. I'm just double checking I've not made any mistakes. Then in love, Abigail. Yeah, I love Abigail. She's definitely one of my favourite bachelorettes. We've got Pierre, love Pierre. Evelyn, love her. Leah, she's very nice. Willy, yes. I love Mr. QI and the Wizard. And Leo. I'm happy with that for me. In alright, yeah, all these. Do any need moving up? Just double check. No, I think I'm happy with that. The ones I dislike, Alex and Caroline. Hayley, Harvey, this weird guy, and the Mayor Lewis. Yeah, and the ones I hate, guys, the most in the game, Elliot, Marnie, and Morris. That's definitely it. I think that's it. I think I'm happy with that. Let me know what you guys think. Is it similar to yours? Tell me your favourites. Who was the goats for you? Maybe try and make me change my mind about some of the characters that I've put in dislike and hate. Maybe I've been too harsh. I don't know. But, you know, some had to be in there for me. Most of them are alright, you know. They're just good. Stardew Valley, all the characters are great. They all bring something different to the table. They're all their own individual character. They're all so unique. But I just find some more interesting than others. And that is my tier list for my Stardew Valley NPCs. My favourites and my least favourites. Yeah, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was a bit long. I know I rambled on and it's something different, so hopefully you just sat down, had a drink and some snacks and you enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and like I said, let me know your tier list as well. I'd love to see it. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Let's try and get to 100k. We are very close now, guys. Thank you all for the love and support. It's been your boy Sharky. That was my Stardew Valley NPC tier list. Take it easy and I'll see you on the next one.